Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AMPM podcast. My name is Manny Coates, and I will be your host, and this is the show where we discuss all things Amazon private label and how to generate recurring revenue streams 24 hours per day during the AM and the PM, hence the name of the show. Get it? AMPM podcast. As a matter of fact, I was out on my friend's boat enjoying the sea breeze, and I saw some dolphins swimming along the side of the boat. And while I was leaning over to get a better look at these amazing creatures, I was making money. How cool is that? Pretty cool, I think. Hey guys, Manny Coates here, and I am joined by my good friend Todd Snively. If you guys don't know who this guy is, he is a monster when it comes to e-commerce. He's an 8-figure entrepreneur. That's where I'm trying to get. So I love talking to Todd. And today we have something special that we're going to be talking about that I'm super excited about. But first, Todd, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Manny. It's a real privilege to be here.
Well, so I want to talk about this new, actually it's new to me. It's not new to you. You've been doing this for a few years. You've been selling liquidation products on Amazon. And actually, I'm just going to back up. I'm going to have you kind of explain a little bit about what that is, how you got into it, and if you want to throw in a little bit of information about yourself so that people know who you are, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure. You know, it's kind of funny because I actually have been doing this since 2002. I only got onto Amazon in 2009. So while I have quite a few ways, that we make money. I'm a big believer in multiple profit centers. This one has been my longest running one since March of 2002. And, the biggest reason that I got involved in this particular business, and we've talked about this at great length, is I had a major business failure. I mean, a disaster of nuclear proportions. And I just didn't know what I was going to do. So I needed something that was easy, replicatable, hopefully scalable, and especially long-term. I needed an income right away. And so, I didn't have a lot of money to start with. I didn't have a lot of idea what I was going to do. But when I started to find these sources for customer return goods from major online sites like QVC, Sears, Walmart, Sam's Club, I was able to know for sure, that I was going to be okay. But like with anything, I try to make it simple. I try to implement technology. I try to find the best places to sell these items. I like to joke that I'm kind of a lazy person. And by that, what I mean is I try to figure out the easiest way to do things. So selling the customer return goods, if you boil it down to its simple concept, it's a lot like garage sailing. All right. Now, imagine going to 100 different garage sales in the course of a week and trying to find the best stuff there, negotiating price, and then figuring out how you're going to sell it, right? Now, on the online community, it's completely different. It's like all of these items are up there. You're either bidding for them or buying them outright, and then you're looking for a place to sell them online. Amazon just happens to be the best place to do that. And like you said, we've been doing that since 2009. And
a lot of people that are listening to this are probably thinking, oh, okay, Todd's talking about retail arbitrage, right? That's what they're thinking, jumping around, buying a product, and marketing it back on Amazon at flipping it for a profit. But what's really cool about this and what's exciting, because the retail arbitrage system for me is just too much hustle, too much work. Yeah. The way you're talking about this, and you can get into some details here, is you found a place where you can buy pallets, a pallet at a time. Sometimes you can get, or actually from what I've seen, oftentimes you can get a pallet for $100 or $200 that is worth thousands of dollars if you sell it on Amazon as a used product. And the part that really struck me that made it exciting, it's so exciting, in fact, that my girlfriend, I mentioned this story to you, she is doing private label. She just sold out her product. She's doing well. But when she heard what you had to say about this, we were at dinner and we were talking about it. She wanted to actually quit private label and do this. And I was like, hold on, you're just starting private label, finish up. But this is really cool because you can buy all this stuff and then Amazon will actually ship it all out for you through their FBA program, right?
Yeah, that's one of the big secrets that people don't really understand is they think FBA is for either private label or brand new, wholesale products. But no, Amazon will allow you to send into FBA used products. And matter of fact, they do so much used volume on Amazon, they have different grading scales. So it's not just like the stuff is used, it's used like new or used good or used acceptable. They're used to working with used products. And the used items sell almost as much as the new stuff does on Amazon. And you know, they don't publicize those numbers, but it's kind of like eBay on steroids, if you will. You know, on eBay, there's like a lot of one-off type items, and the condition is usually critical to the eBay buyer. They'll read that description and they want to know exactly what they're getting, and so on and so forth. Amazon is a little less granular like that. You know, they just want you to disclose to the buyer, one, that it's used, and if you can put even a little condition note in there. And so what's neat about that, Manny, one of the things that I still giggle when I think about is you're able to take advantage of some of the most sexy products on Amazon without all the competition, right? So like, you know, if you're selling one of the top 100 products on Amazon, so is everybody and their brother. And all of the new prices, you know, they'll get compressed and there's almost no profit margin left for you, right? If you're trying to sell something really sexy as new. Mm-hmm. Well, if you have a used item that you only paid 5 cents, 10 cents on the dollar for, you have a huge amount of room to come in at the absolute lowest price and get that sale on Amazon and still sometimes 5x your money. My goal is always to 2x my money with these used products. So if I'm buying it for 10 cents on the dollar and I'm selling it, just for easy math, for 20 cents on the dollar, I'm doubling my money, and the buyer buying it is getting like a 30 or 40% discount maybe or more. They're thrilled silly. Yeah. Because one of the things that I found is on Amazon, there's this subculture of buyers who absolutely will only buy the item at the lowest price, even if it's used, especially if the used condition is the box is a little bruised up, right? Or it has no original packaging. They're thinking, what do I need the original packaging for? I just want to get that Xbox, you know, for 40 cents on the dollar.
Right. And you're talking about the subset. These are the guys that will go to where it says other sellers. They click in there and they're looking through that big list of other sellers and finding that lowest price. And because of that, and this is kind of like a mind-blowing thing when I saw it, you're selling like millions of dollars worth of this stuff with like 0% buy box on a lot of these products, right? Like 0% buy box. You don't have the buy box ever.
No, it's so funny because I'll do these webinars and these podcasts, and I just kind of casually mention that I have a 0 buy box percentage with millions of dollars in sales, and people are like, "How's that even possible?" Because they're in the private label mindset, right? Mm-hmm. Where you want that buy box, or they're in wholesale distribution where you're fighting for the buy box, and you're only going to make a sale if you're in that buy box. This is completely different. You don't fight for the buy box. Yeah. And here's the other thing: if you think about it, there's so much less competition because the only people you're competing with realistically, is somebody else with the exact same product that has it for sale as used. So we find that we're generally, in many cases, the only used seller because the used items sell off so much faster and the inventory for those items is so much lower. So when you get an item like that, you can throw it up sometimes for even just 10% below new. That's 90 cents on the dollar. And the thing will sell within a few days just because it's the lowest price and you only have 1 or 2 generally.
Yeah, and Amazon fulfills everything. So you just send everything in, you inspect the pallet, get everything set up and sent in, and you don't have to create listings or anything. Everything's already there, right? There's no work there.
It's so easy to add your offer to an existing listing. I mean, literally an 8-year-old could do it. I mean, it's that simple. So, it's knowing how to take a process like this and properly scale it, so that you can easily do 1, 2, 3 million a year in top end revenue on these used products.
So if somebody starts off, because this is a question people ask, is like, how much money do I need to start an Amazon business with? And sometimes they'll come in and say, I've only got $1,000, and I tell them, man, private label is just going to be incredibly difficult for you to even do that, right? Because there's so much you've got to do. Product photography, getting the stuff in from overseas, and just creating the product, shipping it out on a boat, everything, right? With $1,000, if somebody starts with this, do they have a realistic shot of actually compounding that? Because you were saying you go for you try to double your money every single time. Like if you buy $1,000 worth of pallets, you're going for doubling that. Can you give us an example on how that can build up over a year?
Oh, absolutely. Well, the neat thing is there's so much inventory out there in the customer returned type business that we see pallets go unsold all the time. Matter of fact, if our goal is like, let's say, to buy 26 pallets in a day, and I say 26 because that's what fills a truck, right? I'm getting those pallets on average between $100 and $175 a pallet. And they'll contain anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000 in retail value. It just depends on the type of product and what's on that manifest. So if I'm done buying that day my 26 pallets and there's still 500 pallets left to buy, I would say of those 500 pallets, at least half of them are going to go unsold or sell at the minimum bid of $100. So people just don't really know about this opportunity. Or if they do know about it, it's just a lack of information on how to run it properly. Because, just like any other business, if you don't know what to buy, what to pay, what your maximum bid should be, the logistics of it, you're not going to do very well, and you could get discouraged. So there's definitely some tips and tricks we can give, people to help them with this venture.
Cool. What's it cost typically to ship a standard pallet of stuff to Amazon?
It's a volume play like anything else. If you're just shipping one pallet somewhere, it could cost, depending on where it's going, it could cost $125 to $250. If you buy a pallet in New York and you're in California, you could pay, $250. So we try to buy from the warehouses, that are close to us. We fill up a truck. We pay on average about $75 to $85 a pallet, depending what types of goods, are on that pallet.
What's the best deal in recent memory that you can think of where you picked up a pallet for X amount and then you were able to sell all the contents for a certain amount?
It's actually kind of funny because the best pallet I ever did actually was a pallet of the same item. Now, I actually was going to buy this pallet and give these items away as Christmas gift. And I'll tell you what they were. They were 5-pound chocolate bars, okay? Now, it was more like the kind of chocolate you use for cooking. It's not like you're going to peel open this 5-pound chocolate bar and just consume it, right? And if I remember correctly, there were 100 of them on this pallet. And I was worried that maybe, I don't know, the chocolate's bad. It's all going to be busted up. Is it close to expiration? But I was able to get this pallet for $100, okay? Each of these chocolate bars, I was able to, when I saw them, it kind of blew my mind because it was this commercial grade cooking chocolate. And they were selling for $65 each on Amazon. So I went in there and put them up for $49, I believe. And every one of them sold in 2 days.
Wow.
So, that was the one that really sticks in my mind because I was going to give these away as gifts.
Yeah.
And instead I decided, well, no, I think I'm going to make the money. When I saw how much money I could actually get, I'm like, no, I'm going to sell these.
Yeah. Nice. Well, so that's awesome. So, and this is, that's a great one there, but you mentioned, and we're going to talk about something we're going to be doing for everybody here. I think it's going to be cool to actually show them. We can't do it right now on the podcast because of limited time, but I'd love to have you show everybody actually how you go through the process of selecting stuff, because I think people are going to be curious about like the manifest and seeing what's on there. Cause you found a way to see every single product that's on that pallet. So, in advance before you even bid what's on there, and then how to figure out what you're going to be able to sell it for. And it's a long process to do it manually. And we're going to show people how to do that, but you figured out a super cool way to like 100x the speed or something like that.
No, it's crazy. And again, this is something I've been refining since 2002. So it is as good as it gets. And people all the time, that I work with, because I do some working with people with private label and wholesale distribution. They're like, well, they ask the question you asked, how did you get started? And then they ask me about that model. And for a long time, I never really told anybody about this model because I didn't really want to. It was one of those things where, well, you're making so much money and all that. Mm-hmm. But now people, it's funny too, because gosh, they ask, I tell them, and they run right out and they buy a pallet. It's like, it's the last thing I would do. I'd be like, well, let me figure out exactly how all this works. Man, some people they take action, they run out, they buy a pallet, and they try to make it work. No, we got lots of ways to make it easy for people.
Yeah. And so, and your strategy on how to pick the right pallet and go through everything. And it's important because like you said, there's tons and tons of pallets. Like through one of the sources you're going to be talking about, how many pallets run through that in a day?
Roughly 600.
600.
Well, let me put it to you this way. 600 from a supplier I would buy from. Now here's where it gets, the first thing that, gets a little difficult is you got to know who to buy from, right? Because they literally have maybe 5,000 pallets a day to pick from. Within those 5,000, there's 500 or 600 you should be looking at. Mm-hmm. And from the 500 or 600, it's like, okay, which 1 or 2 or 10 or 20 should I get? That was the single most important thing that we had to figure out, because in many cases, you don't really want to consider the pallet until there's maybe 10 or 15 minutes left. So you can see, are you wasting your time, or has somebody bid it up too high? Mm-hmm. And you got to know what too high is, right? Yeah. So, so there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it, but it's so lucrative. It's worth learning how to do.
I'm going to put you on the spot here. What's the name of the website that they can go to actually see all these pallets?
It's actually called liquidation.com. They're a NASDAQ traded company. They actually got their start doing liquidations for the U.S. government, and they still do that to this day. But then they moved on now to the consumer chains. So now they're dealing with huge channels like Amazon and Sears and Best Buy, liquidating all kinds of things, which brings up a good point. We kind of touched on this earlier, but a lot of the people that I talk to and show how to do this business, they do buy pallets for their own consumption, right? You might see stuff on a pallet that you're like, ooh, I'd like to have that. Well, it's a way to get it for 10 or 20 cents on the dollar now, which people think is pretty cool.
You told me a story that when you have your pallets coming in and you're inspecting everything, you have people that are going through everything. They always come up to you and like, hey, can I buy this? Can I take this off? Right? It's just nonstop. They want all these things.
I had to put up this sign in the warehouse that says, we do not slop at our own trough. Right? If it's in the warehouse, we're selling it.
That's funny. And a lot of this stuff is still under warranty, right? Or you have techniques as well to actually get the warranties extended or whatever the case might be, right?
Well, you just gave away one of my huge secrets, but it's cool because what's neat is manufacturers stand behind their products. And you got to understand, all of these products are name brand manufacturers that everybody knows. So just for an example, let's say your pallet contains an airbed, right? And airbeds notoriously leak. So generally, without hesitation, I won't even put that airbed up for auction. I'll simply contact the manufacturer and say, this airbed leaks. Can I get a replacement for it? They'll have you cut off a little part of the airbed, mail it into them, and they'll send you a brand new one in the box, which means now you put that item that you paid $10 for, $15 for on Amazon as brand new and sell it for $100, $110.
Okay, cool. That's super cool. So this is why I love talking to you, because no matter what business we're talking about, whether, in e-commerce, whether it's, doing private label or wholesaling or liquidation in this case, you've always got these angles on how to like really maximize things. And to me, this is really mind blowing. I would never do retail arbitrage because, you got to go one at a time. This is completely different. Amazon is actually fulfilling everything. You're buying pallets at a time. You can have somebody that you hire that can just go through everything. You can almost automate the whole process. And it's something that I'm definitely going to be looking forward to actually implementing. I want to try it just to say that I did and then be like, dude, I added an extra $1 million to my revenues in 2018. And I don't push products or services hardly ever. I'm one of those guys that, I really got to believe in. I've got to use something or I've got to really, really trust the person that's doing this, and you just crush it. So here's what we want to do, guys. You guys can go to liquidation.com. You can check it out. You know, we're pretty upfront about all this kind of stuff. The techniques that Todd uses, the strategies, it's a long process. It's probably, 30 minutes to 45 minutes of actually going in and showing you everything now that we've kind of gotten the basics out of the way. And we're going to do that. We're going to create a webinar for you guys where Todd is going to show in real time. You're going to be sharing your screen and looking at live auctions. Is that right?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely.
Okay, cool. So we're going to be doing this. There's going to, sometimes when things are live, it can go wonky, but he's going to be showing you these auctions as they are expiring because they count down backwards, if I remember correctly. We'll see some of those that, and you'll have profit, that the actual numbers that could be made had we bought this pallet or that pallet. And the techniques that he just talked about, for example, this is just one of the techniques with the warranties as an example, or getting things in bulk to bring your costs down per pallet, and a lot of other things. So did I miss anything there?
No, remember, I've been doing this for 15 years. So the biggest thing that I want to mention is the proprietary software. We developed software where you basically takes 2 seconds to put this thing to work. And within a couple of minutes, you have the buy, no buy decision and a rough idea, real good idea, I should say, of how much you're going to make with that pallet. The one last nugget I want to leave you guys with on this whole business opportunity, this profit center, is with the small amount of money that you're going to pay for the right pallet. Let's say on average it has 25 or 30 items. You're going to make your money back with 1, 2, maybe 3 items. The rest is all profit. That's what makes this a low risk opportunity for the people that are willing to learn how to do it correctly and work it the right way.
Yeah. And when you say 1, 2, or 3 pallets,
1, 2, or 3 products.
Oh, 1, 2, 3 products, you make your money back on the pallet. Got it. Okay. So and you can get these pallets for $100 in many cases. I've actually seen you do that when you were showing me, where we actually did this with our Illuminati mastermind members, and people were just blown away. You were just crushing it, showing them how you can get these things for $100. You're like, look, nobody's even bidding on this one. And you ran your software tool and you can actually see how much everything is worth, then you do your calculation. Like, I know, because you've done it for years, that I can sell it for this amount.
Right.
In a day or two or however. I mean, do things typically sell pretty fast? Is it usually a matter of days, or sometimes can it go pretty long time?
No, generally you're talking a maximum of 5 to 7 days to turn 20 items on a pallet, because remember, these are items that are already selling. Think about this. Generally somebody already bought it once, right? So yeah. Very rare for something not to sell once you actually send it down to FBA.
Yeah. And you're going to show everybody how to find the right pallets and the right places that are sending these pallets into liquidation.com. So guys, this is going to be a super awesome webinar. I'm telling you right now, if you've followed me for the longest time, you know that I'm a straight shooter. This is going to be awesome. Your mind is going to be blown. If you come to the webinar that we're going to be setting up here, you're going to walk away knowing how to do this. Even if you don't jump in on the opportunity, okay? We're going to be presenting something during the webinar that's going to be really, really cool. And we were doing the numbers. We're like, you only need to sell like a few pallets and then you're at break even and you're good to go in most cases. But I'm going to look at my notes here. We have a webinar, I believe. I know it's the holiday season here that's set up for next week. It's going to be Wednesday, December 27th, and it's going to be at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And you can register for this by going to liquidationblueprint.com. Okay, liquidationblueprint.com. And Todd is going to be on there, and he's going to show you live what he does with this software that I swear to God, it's like it must 100x your speed. Let me ask you this, with the software or without the software, knowing, the average person, you've seen them do this, how many pallets could they go through and do, what the software does in a day, in an 8-hour day, would you say?
Well, oh my goodness. Well, first of all, I don't think anybody could do this for 8 hours in a day without going nuts, without software and whatnot. It's just too much work. It's very tedious. It's kind of mind numbing. But if somebody was forced to do it, I think they could probably get through maybe 3 pallets in a day, maybe. But The problem is, I mean, that's even problematic because they're not going to know if they're the right ones. They could be wasting time. So even if they took all day to go through like 3 pallets, maybe they'd have one that they could bid on if there's still enough time left. You know, it's just problematic. I mean, this is why we had to, you know, spend all the money on the software.
Yeah, and that was one of the big points that you had made to me privately. You said, you know, if the problem with doing it manually is it takes so long that sometimes you miss the bid because, you know, it's counting down. There's only an hour left, and you're going through everything, and you miss it. And by the time you're like, oh, this was a good one, it's too late. It's gone.
Or even what I used to hate was I put in all the time manually to figure out what to bid on a pallet, and then some goofball would come along in the last 10 minutes and outbid me. And I wasted all of that time where if I had waited until there was only 10 minutes to go or 5 minutes to go, because my entire process can only take maybe 2 to 3 minutes, then I know the chances of getting that pallet go up to 98%.
Nice. So 2 to 3 minutes to do a pallet. So you could do a dozen of these in an hour with the software easily.
Okay.
And train somebody to do it. So you don't even have to do it yourself.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that's my other dirty little secret is I don't actually do any of this myself anymore. I just do it, you know, for fun, like I say, to train other people. But we have people on staff here now that do it all for me, which brings up 2 points I did want to make is you can completely outsource this entire process. And number 2, some of the most successful people that I've shown how to do this are overseas. They don't even have a U.S. presence. So you don't have to see a pallet. You don't have to touch a pallet. You don't have to do anything with this type of a business model. You can live anywhere and do
this. Is awesome. Yeah, people are going to be blown away. I'm telling you right now, guys, I've already seen it. I've seen an advanced version of the presentation, I guess you could say, and it was mind boggling. It's really cool because I've never looked at it from that angle, and it's something that I'm going to get into. I've done the merch side of stuff, right, with Merch by Amazon. I've not done any kind of liquidation offers before, so I'm kind of excited, and I'm not going to do it myself. I'm going to have people that do it for me. But yeah, I think it'll be cool. I would love to fill up a truck. What'd you say it was? 26 pallets or
26 pallets?
26 pallets. Mm-hmm. 26 pallets. So that will be fun. That'll be a challenge to get someone here in the office to actually to do that. That'll be crazy.
The real challenge will be stopping people in your organization from wanting to cherry pick the good stuff off the pallets. You know.
Yeah.
Hey, wait, you only paid what, 5 cents on the dollar for this? I'll give you 6 cents. How's that?
I know, right? It's like, no, I can sell that for $100. Leave it alone. So, well, cool. Well, Todd, this has been awesome. Is there anything that I missed before we finish off here?
No, just show up for the webinar, and I love showing this to people because, like you said, it's something they've never considered. It blows their mind, and it's an easy way to make some decent money.
Yeah, and guys, Todd is one of those guys that, like I said, he crushes it. He's an 8-figure entrepreneur. He came out to the Illuminati Mastermind live event that we did in Mexico. He's come on to train other high-level guys, 6-7-figure guys. And he talked about this as just one of the things he does. You're going to learn a lot. I promise you, just coming to the webinar, you're going to walk away knowing how to do this. And if you want to take it to the next level, Todd's going to show you how to get involved with that. And again, it's Wednesday, December 27th at 11 a.m. You register at liquidationblueprint.com. As always, guys, there's 1,000 seats. That's the limit to our GoToWebinar account. When we do this, we try to go beyond that, and everything just breaks. So we keep it at 1,000, and it fills up pretty much every time we do a webinar. So you'll want to show up early, register, set an alarm on your phone to come in, 15 minutes before, just to make sure you can get in, and it's going to be super cool. So Todd, thank you so much for coming on the show. I think this is always good. I love talking to you. I can't wait to talk to you next week and see how this goes live. It's going to be cool.
It'd be a blast. I love doing this presentation. It's just so much fun because people can see how easy it is to make some money, and that it should be easy, right?
Yeah, awesome.
Why make it hard? Why complicate things?
That's right. I agree. All right, perfect. Well, thanks for coming on the show again, and guys, make sure you register, and we'll see you guys next week. Take care, everybody.
Hey, I need 90 seconds of your time. It could literally change your Amazon business. I am super excited to finally announce the release of Helium 10's new Chrome extension. First of all, It's free, so make sure you get it right now. This awesome tool helps you while you are surfing for products on Amazon by displaying secret information on the product page for you. For example, if I ever have a bad product review and I don't know which of my customers wrote it, like when the name of the person that left the review says Amazon customer or maybe Bambi21, well, I can now click one button with the Helium 10 Chrome extension and it will show me which customer left that review so that I can reach out to that customer and perhaps send them a new unit or make sure that they get top customer service to resolve the issue that led to the bad review in the first place. That's just one of the many things this extension can do. While browsing Amazon products, I can use the Helium 10 Chrome extension to get thousands of keyword phrases for the product I am looking at using the CEREBRO reverse ASIN feature that's built in. If you missed what I just said, I called it CEREBRO. That's the Spanish word for brain, CEREBRO. So this extension allows me to calculate my net profits on a product that I'm looking at. Right there on the page, it'll show me the product, it fills in some information, and then I can find out right away what all the fees are and whether this is something that I want to actually go and source or not. I can also use this to see the inventory levels of any of my competitors. I can use it to see when the best selling times of the year are for that product so I know when to really stock up or when to jump into the market or to see if it's truly seasonal. I can see the other brands that this seller owns at a glance and find new product opportunities. Listen, this is a free extension and it's crazy not to be using it. If you're using other Chrome extensions to do parts of what Helium 10 can do right now with this Chrome extension, get rid of the other ones. Just use this one. Okay, there's a lot of features that are coming, so get it now and check for the videos in our FBA High Rollers Facebook group because that's where I'm going to be posting how to use this tool or the way I use this tool to generate big revenue streams after using this extension. Get it for free at helium10.com. Create a free account at helium10.com and you can download the extension once you've logged in. It's a game changer, guys, so do it right now, helium10.com.
You've been listening to the AMPM podcast hosted by Manny Coates. For more information, insider tools, and to get the resources mentioned in this episode, visit ampmpodcast.com.